This is Solo P1. Hope all the audio is good. Crank up the audio because the audio had problems before. Everything seems good. Mic check. Mic. Yeah, it's all good. This is Solo P1. Solo P1. This is Las Vegas Race Day Review. Let's turn that music off for a second. Now. We, as racing fans, as the collective unit, as racing fans, not just Mercedes fans, not just Ferrari fans, but as racing fans, we all knew what was going to happen, really. Actually, I thought maybe Charles or Sainz, before Sainz got that penalty, maybe they would have, maybe would have squeezed one, but it didn't work. Didn't happen. Now, Mercedes. There's a lot of frustrated, angry Mercedes fans. And I'm one of them. Mercedes fans. But the direction of the anger, the direction of frustration should be pointed at Mercedes. It should be. Because they were warned. They were warned. They were warned before these new regulations kicked in. They were warned. There was a man, a gentleman. I'm not going to name his name, but if you Google it, you'll find out. Very easy to find out. He was warned. They were warned about this ground. He was warned. Mercedes was warned about the ground effect. But they dismissed it. They dismissed it. As 8-time, well, at the time it was 7-time constructors champions. They dismissed it. Listen, when you're at the top for so long like Mercedes, like in any sport, you can get complacent. You can. They said it themselves. We're not always going to win. These days will come to an end. They said it themselves. These days could come to an end. But if they would have listened to this gentleman what talked about the ground effects a couple of years ago, maybe they could have continued to dominate or maybe win races. But they didn't listen. They didn't listen. They continued on their path. They thought, nah, we'll be all right. This guy said, look, this ground effect, it's a new revelation. It's a new thing. You have to change course. Mercedes says, nah, we're good. We're good to go. But Red Bull knew they didn't have the firepower to beat Mercedes. They knew they didn't have the engine power to beat Mercedes. So what Red Bull did, they said, right, what we're going to do is we're not going to concentrate on making a more powerful engine. What we're going to do, we're going to concentrate on making the best chassis you can have. The best chassis. We'll work on our pits like we always do. And we'll work on having the best chassis. Because with the ground effect, it's all about aerodynamics. That's what the ground effect is about. But again, Mercedes, they dismissed it. They thought we can go our way. So what Mercedes did, the Mercedes says, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put these big, huge side pods on the side of our car. That will work. These side pods look like they just came off a Concorde, an aeroplane. They were that big. I remember seeing them and I remember, what are they on the side, man? And everybody was saying, okay, it's different. I wasn't sure at the time, but I knew it was different. But they look huge. And everybody thought, okay, this is the way to go. This is what Mercedes thought. And then the winter testing started. Then they started seeing faults with the car. Start seeing the bobbing and the weaving. Started seeing the bobbleheads. You started seeing Lewis Hamilton's head bubble like a bobblehead. Then you started seeing George Russell bubble. They started complaining to the FIA and Stu and said, look, we need to stop this. We need to raise the car. We need to raise the ride height of the car or we're going to get concussions. And it wasn't just Mercedes at the beginning. It wasn't just Mercedes. No. It was Aston Martin, it was McLaren, and it was Ferrari. It was a lot of teams. But Red Bull knew about this ground effect. Because the reason why Red Bull knew about this ground effect is because they had a certain person working for them called Adrian Newey. Adrian Newey has got a thesis on ground effect. He got his thesis in the 80s. So he was an expert on ground effect. Funny how that works out, isn't it? It's funny how the regulations changed and it sat right in the middle of Red Bull's lap. Boom, straight on the table. Very simple. But we move on. Mercedes started to struggle through the season, started bubbled and weaving. And then it came to Monaco. Lewis Hamilton could get out the car. It looked like he had concussion. The doctor had to look at him to see if he had concussion. And then they said, right, after Spa, we're going to raise the ride height of the car. Maybe that will do something. What happened? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Red Bull continued to dominate. Red Bull continued to win the majority of the race of 2022. And the Mercedes car was absolutely horrendous. But you know who was clever? McLaren. But you know who was even more clever? Aston Martin. Aston Martin knew on day one that they needed to change course. They knew, they said, right, this ain't going to work. They followed the Mercedes route. That didn't work. So what we're going to do, we're going to follow the Red Bull route. So 2023 started. 2023. Everybody said this was the season that Mercedes was going to claw back. What happened? Aston Martin was faster. What happened? Ferrari was faster. And now McLaren was faster. Because McLaren were clever because they went down the route that Red Bull did. The route that Mercedes should have gone. But no, they're still relying on these side pods. So what happened all of a sudden? Mercedes started having a mix-up in the garage. They said, right, we need to get rid of some people out of this garage. We need to have a mix-up. Toto Wolff comes out in the news, comes out in Sky Sports and saying, things are going to change. We're going to get some spicy upgrades. We're going to upgrade the car. We're going to do this, going to do that. And it did work. It did work temporarily. It worked for a bit. If you got a cut on your leg, putting a bandage over it like a sticky plaster temporarily to stop the bleeding. Because the car was still hemorrhaging. The car was bleeding. So they put a little sticky plaster over it. That's all it was. These little upgrades that Mercedes was throwing on the car, all it was little spots, little cuts, and they was just putting plasters over it temporarily. That wasn't solving the issue. So they started getting rid of all the team. They brought back Allison. Allison should have never left. I know Allison wanted to go and do something else with his life, but they should have kept him on there. The arrogance got to them again, so they brought back Allison. Allison came back and said, right, what we need to do, we need to scrap this concept, which we were saying since 2022. We're going to scrap the concept, and then we're going to start next year. We're going to follow the way of the Red Bull, the way of the McLaren, the way of the Aston Martin, and then after that, then we're going to see what happens. So what happened? They started bringing these upgrades on the old car, the car they're not going to use next year, the old concept. And the upgrades started working. The upgrades started working. So they said, right, what we're going to do after the USA, we're going to try and change the car. We're going to change it a little bit, see what happens. What happens when they change the car? Nothing. The car got worse. Did you watch Brazil? The Mercedes car got worse. Because any little tweak with the car's on rails, the car goes the other way. So the car, you can't work with it. There's a lot of cars, when you look on the F1 grid, if they start changing the car's still good, but with the Mercedes car, soon as you start throwing upgrades at it and start tweaking the setup, it's game over. It's done. It's over. So Lewis Hamilton comes out in the press the other day after the Las Vegas Grand Prix. It was after the qualifying, and he goes, one more qualifying to go, and I'll never have to drive this car ever again. Never have to drive this car again. That was words from Lewis Hamilton. Words from Lewis Hamilton. George Russell, he looked dejected. He looked like he didn't want to be there. He was done with this team. He said, right, I can't wait to go on my holiday. He's going to my holiday with his girlfriend, Carmen Mundit. He can't wait to go on his holiday. He's already thinking about where to go. He's already thinking of his holiday now because he doesn't even want to stay with his team. He wants to get out of there. He needs to reset. Everybody said 2022 season was the worst season for Mercedes. This is not far off, if not equal. But it is what it is. We continue to move on as Mercedes fans and as racing fans. We're going to continue to move on. We're going to continue to march on. But this is what I'm going to say before bringing Toto Hammer. I got one thing left to say. Mark my words. Mark my words. If Mercedes come out next season and they're still behind everybody, they're second or third fastest team, and they're not even close to Red Bull, then we are done. We are done until 2026. Red Bull will dominate until 2026, until the next regulations will start again. So when everything gets reset. So, enough of that rant. I'm going to bring in Michael Hughes, my partner in crime. He's my partner on this channel. This is Toto Hammer.
Yeah,
big up.
Big up.
There you go. He's got his perfect mic. How you doing, Toto? I'm not going to make it long for you today. It's going to be a quick one.
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Just been revising over my notes, so I can be all clear for the video. Yeah, that's all I've been doing, man.
Your mic sounds absolutely pro. So,
yeah.
Toto, I just went through a little rant. I had to get this rant out. I think I was ranting for. Let me see how long I was ranting for. See the timer. It was at least. It was about 15 minutes. I was talking about how Mercedes needs to get it right next year. They got no excuses. They got no wriggle room. I heard it on loads of podcasts today and Spaces yesterday. Mercedes fans, die-hard Mercedes fans, they've got no wriggle room next year. They've got to come out next year. They're going to change the concept. They have all these upgrades what they're supposed to be having with the new concepts. They're having the car, the seat more back for Lewis Hamilton because it was too forward before. There's no excuses now. When next year starts, that's it. If they don't come out the blocks next year in Bahrain and they're about 2 seconds, 3 seconds behind behind Red Bull, they're going to dominate until 2026, until the new regulations start. So what's your thoughts on that first before we get into Las Vegas?
The relegations. I think it's all about Mercedes maximising their car winter testing. Enough of all this sandbagging, right?
Yeah.
Just maximise your car at winter testing and make sure the setup's correct. Make sure you just put it in your best and make sure when it comes to the first race and next season, make sure you at least finish a podium so you can at least be in the title charge.
Yeah.
At least Mercedes be in the title charge next season. That's what Mercedes need to focus on. Maximise the potential. Use the wind tunnel time because Red Bull's losing 70% of their wind tunnel time, which is going to be crucial to their performance. So use that. Use the advantage you got around you. That's all I got to say about that.
Facts, man. Facts. Now, I'm just going to briefly go over this race. I'm not going to go into a fine-tune. I'm not going to go through detail to detail. We could do that on the debrief with the strategy and all that, yeah. But as I look at it, I'm watching this race, and for me, I thought that Max Verstappen should have got the penalty. It should have been at least a 10-second time penalty. I'm not going to go through this bit by bit by bit. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on the situation with Max Verstappen and what happened with the race. That's it. I don't want to go through lap to lap this week. I'm just going to throw it out there. This is just one of those quick reviews. I'm looking at this, right, For me, Max Verstappen should have got a 10-second time penalty. And after what he said on the radio, when he said about his engineer, when he goes, "Oh yeah, send my regards," I would have gave him another 10-second penalty just for saying that. That's just my opinion. But for me, he should have got a 10-second time penalty. He blatantly ran Charles Leclerc off the track. Very simple. What's your thoughts on that, Toto?
Yeah, it was clearly unfair. Leclerc was really, it was yards ahead going into that corner, and then he used it. Then he used the inside line and huge runoff area, which is good to be there, so drivers can actually have a chance of surviving the first turn. He used that runoff area to an advantage, and he weren't even ahead. He weren't even as ahead. He was
Yeah.
pretending his will into Leclerc, and he weren't even ahead. So the maximum penalty should have been is 10 seconds. You know, not 5, because 5, even though it is crucial during a race, at 10 seconds even more crucial, and that's what he deserves. He's cocky. He thinks he owns it. He thinks he owns F1, and not so much on he owns F1, but he's just dirty. He's just dirty in general. He weren't even ahead going into the corner, so
I know.
10 seconds.
You know what? You're right. Regarding the look, it is what it is. We know how the FIA is with Max Verstappen. We know how they roll. One roll for him, one roll for everybody. I'm just looking at the incident now. You remember Jolyon Palmer? He's got like a vlog he does with this weekly vlog he does with Autosport, which I don't mind. I think Jolyon Palmer is a better vlogger and reviewer than he was a driver, in my opinion. I think I like Jolyon Palmer. He's very honest. He come out and he says, this was regarding Max Verstappen, because you know the negativity that Max Verstappen was doing at the beginning of the weekend when he was saying, "Oh, I hate this race, it's crap, all this entertainment's rubbish, I don't like it." And Jolyon Palmer, this quote from Jolyon Palmer, quote, "You can't say Las Vegas GP is a shambles, then 50 laps later you're singing Viva Las Vegas in an Elvis suit. Come on, let's get it real." And it's true though, Max Verstappen was basically the only driver on the grid that didn't like the opening ceremony for some reason. He was criticising the way it was run. He was criticising the entire weekend. And then 50 laps later, after he won the race, he's dancing in an Elvis suit and saying Viva Las Vegas. And you know what? Jolyon Palmer has got a point here. What do you think, Toto, on this one?
Yeah, he has got a point, because it was quote unquote what he said. He says when he was going up on them that elevator where he was going to see all the fans and they came in all the suits. He said, I felt standing there felt like a joke. That's exactly what he said. He felt like a joke.
On the opening ceremony, yeah.
He felt like a joke. And after that, keep on cussing the press, not cussing the press. You know, like he didn't really like the open ceremony. So he has got a point.
He has got a point. That's what I'm saying. He's fake.
Stick to your words. If you think it's a joke, you stick to your words. Even though I don't like the guy, he should have stuck to his words. That's what he should have done. But he never stuck to his words. He sent Viva Las Vegas and started dancing in an Elvis suit. So the clown.
I'm going to try and get the picture up so you can see.
The joke is on him. The joke's on him, if you think about it. And he's the clown.
There you go.
He felt like a clown.
There it is, guys. There it is there, right there, guys, for everybody to see. There it is. That was for Jolyon Palmer. You can't say Las Vegas GP is a shambles, then do 50 laps later and you're going singing Viva Las Vegas. Come on. That was from Jolyon Palmer. Facts. Big up to Jolyon Palmer for talking the truth. Love it. So that's it, man. At the end of the day, right, is what it is. So I believe that if it went for that safety car helping out, because when
the safety car was crucial.
the safety car. I thought that after they gave Max Verstappen the penalty, the 5-second time penalty, which was a joke. Even the commentator was basically saying, even Martin Brundle said he should have got a bigger penalty than that, because when they told him to give the place back, he didn't give the place back. So he straight away should have got a 10-second time penalty, which he never. He got a 5. So he said on the radio when he got the penalty, "Don't worry about it." He goes, the engineer said, "Don't worry about it, Max. Just eke out the 5 seconds." But the thing about it, what was interesting, after he said he's going to eke out the 5 seconds, he didn't eke out the 5 seconds. Charles Leclerc was sticking with him because Charles Leclerc had a fast car. And I think that threw off Max Verstappen. Then Max Verstappen started going, "Oh, okay, my tyres are wearing off," which it was. I don't think his tyres was wearing off. I believe that Charles Leclerc just had a faster car. So at this point of the race, Toto, I'm not sure if you caught this part. You know, when Charles passed Max Verstappen the first time and then Max pitted the lap after, at this time,
Yeah,
I
'cause
thought Charles
basically
had the
right.
race then.
Basically right. Max was ahead. But this is when he got the 5-second time penalty, and it was
Yeah,
about to pit. And then Leclerc was on the charge. He was using his
yeah.
battery a lot, and the gap came from 5 seconds all the way down to about 3/5 So he's right behind him. As soon as Leclerc passed him, at that point, if I was a driver, there was no point of trying to fight Leclerc because Leclerc was clearly the faster driver and had the better battery deployment. So
Standard.
Verstappen, of course, went in for his penalty. But yeah, I did caught that part where Leclerc passed Verstappen, and then the safety car came out, and
Yeah,
then it bunched up the pack, and then it just gave advantage. Like Perez as well. Perez as well got advantage to safety car. He was finished at the beginning of the race, but as soon as the safety car came out, this benefited Hamilton as well. How he came back a lot of times. He
yeah,
pitted, right? He was
yeah.
out the race, but then
No,
the
he didn't
safety
pick the
car came
first
out.
time though. He didn't pick the first time. He stayed out. The first
Oh yeah, because
pits.
he had hard tires. He had
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
tires.
That's it.
So he
That's
had
it. Yeah,
hard tires on his first stint, and then he had a little muddle up with Piastri. Then he had to pit, and then the safety car came out, and then that's what benefited all the drivers. It benefited Verstappen, benefited Hamilton, it benefited Perez. It just benefited the pack, really. You know
yeah.
how the
That's what I
position
think.
change and
Yeah, because I think when the first safety car come out, yeah, it never really benefited that many people. I say benefited Hamilton because Hamilton had the hard tires. But what it was for me when Charles was in front, he passed Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen pitted, so that was standard. That didn't benefit Max at all. If anything, it benefited Charles because Charles still had the grip off his first stint. What benefited Max Verstappen and Red Bull was the second safety car because what happened? Charles came into the pits, he put his fresh tyres on, and about 7-8 laps later, the safety car come out, and then Max was right by the pits at the perfect time when the safety car come out. So we darted into the pits, put some new boots on. Perez put some new boots on as well, and then the advantage was with Red Bull. Even though Charles was in front, the advantage was with Red Bull because Red Bull pitted under the safety car at the right time. So they knew they had the grip in the tyres to catch Charles. That's where the race turned in Red Bull's favour, especially with Checo, because Checo was out of it. I think Checo was like, at this point before the second safety car come out, I think Checo was ninth. So he was out of it anyway. But yeah, the safety car did help out the Red Bull. I really wanted Charles to win this race. I thought Lewis's comeback, he came back the first time when he came up, when he went from 15th, I think it was 15th he started, or 14th, I forgot. Someone quote me on that one. Don't quote me on that one, actually. I thought that the first one, when Lewis came from near the back and he came up to boy Charles Leclerc, I think he was 7th place. I thought that was a brilliant comeback when he stayed on the hard side, because obviously when people started to pick because of the safety car, it helped out Hamilton. When he bumped into Charles, when he bumped into Oscar Piastri, when he got that puncher, that was just, I thought, oh no, everything was going good. Then Lewis had to come to the pits again, and at the end he made another comeback. So really, he made two comebacks. The first comeback when the race started, the second comeback when he got the punctured tyres. He made a brilliant comeback. And for me, I think Lewis should have got driver of the day. What was your thoughts on the way Lewis handled the race when after his punctures and coming back twice?
Yeah, Lewis, you know, when he has like a bad race and he drops off and doesn't really try, but this race he tried, you know, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. If it weren't for the Piastri incident, because his strategy was perfect, he was on the hard tires, you could have went for a one stop or maybe a quick two stop, maybe a soft compound at the end, but it
yeah,
was usually a one stop that I was going for because hard tires, it's low humidity, it's cold there. So the hard tires really benefit. So Lewis Hamilton actually and Mercedes actually chose the right strategy for the hard tires. But drive of the day wise, go save all that for the debrief. Drivers of the day wise, yeah, it's got to be Hamilton because Hamilton he came back 3 times. He came back. The safety
yeah,
car helped him as well. Gotta admit. But look, end of the day, right? He still came back. You
yeah.
know. So driver of the day has got to be Hamilton.
For me, it was as well. I thought you should have got driver of the day. I loved the battle at the end when obviously Russell got a penalty, which I felt sorry for me. Had a 5-second time penalty, so I could see Lewis gaining on him because obviously he wanted to get that finish in front of his teammate. Obviously, everybody wants to finish in front of the teammate, but it was a shame for Russell. I thought at the end, like I said, at the end of the race, Russell looked like he was done. But the last part of the race was quite good when basically Perez passed Charles. Charles is in the middle of the two Red Bull cars. But at first, you could see that when Perez went in front of Charles, he was trying to tow Charles so Max didn't get get in front of him. So basically, when Checo was in front, Charles was behind him because he just passed Charles, and Checo was giving Charles the tow. So when he gave him the tow, Max couldn't get close to Checo, and I thought that was interesting. But where Checo made the mistake, he got too close, and Charles got him down on the inside in turn one, passed him again, got the place back, and then Checo was in trouble because Max was there. Then Max passed Checo, and then went in front, and that was it over. And then eventually Checo passed Charles again. So it was a 1 and 2 Mercedes in front. So 1 and 2 Red Bull in front. So you knew what was going to happen at this point. So what did you think of all that? The little battle at the end with Checo and all that?
Yeah, it was a really good battle. Because of course, the two Red Bulls were working together to surround Leclerc. This is the debate you're talking about, the two Red Bulls versus one Ferrari.
Yeah. What did you think of that battle?
Yeah, it was a really good battle. Leclerc tried, but of course, as you saw the graphic powered by AWS, you saw the energy deployment. Leclerc was saving his energy. He couldn't really do anything. Verstappen saved more energy, so that's why he got him on the straight. Plus the DRS as well, which is obviously, of course, Perez saving his battery as well.
Yeah.
But I think Leclerc at that point, he did try to get up. He did beat Perez, so there's one thought to think about. He did beat Perez. He came second. Perez came third. But I think it's about the battery deployment levels. Verstappen had better battery, so I think that's why he was going faster than Leclerc at that point. Because when Leclerc and Verstappen was battling beforehand, Leclerc was getting the better of him, But I think as soon as he was losing battery, he was on saving mode. Then he lost that to Max, but at least he got second. At least he beat one Red Bull. So it was a really good battle there. Really good battle. I enjoyed it.
That was quite exciting battle at the end. And that was it. And at the end, Red Bull won the race. And that's it. Again, 20 races that broke the Mercedes record, which was held by Mercedes. I think it was 2016. And when they broke the record, when they had 19 races in one season. And now Red Bull broke that record with 20. And that's it, man. That's another record gone. And the other teams are slowly starting to catch up. But they need to do something about it because, obviously, we don't want this again next year. That's it. We don't want this next year, man. We want a battle coming in for next year. That's what we want. We don't want, we don't want Red Bull dominant. I don't think that's good for anyone. It don't matter who you support. It's not good for anyone. You just come in next season, you're going to watch the same thing again. Red Bull win everything. The ratings will tank. And they're tanking now. And they'll continue to tank. But, anything you want to say about the race, Toto? I'll let you have the floor.
The race, my thoughts going to break it down. My thoughts out of 10. I think the race was 7 out of 10. It was a decent race. Lots of safety cars. Lots of course, entertainment. I think the ceremonies, the glitz and the glamour has got to be a 10. Race 7 out of 10. Glitz and glamour was 10 out of 10. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Race was really good. I think I enjoyed the weekend, the race specifically. I didn't really like the practices because there was too many stoppages, red flags. I wasn't really a fan of that. But I think specifically the race was my most enjoyable part of the weekend. It was a decent drive by Hamilton. Piastri got really unlucky, but the McLarens look really good. Mercedes, I think, could win a title next season or could do good next race. I think they have the speed there, but they just stop being unlucky. They got to get the strategy right because the strategy was right for this race, but Hamilton. Not really a good move.
It is what it is. Look, I'll get you, man. I get you. It is what it is, isn't it? It's one of them. People are going to either like the track and people are not going to like the track. But I get you. I thought Hamilton done good. Yeah. So you got confidence that you think Mercedes are gonna get that concept right with the new concept? I don't know. We'll see what happens. What do you think?
Yeah, see what happens in the new concept. But I'm assuming that's same as Red Bull. So let's see, how they perform next season, because Aston Martin did it in 2022. They did good in 2022. So let's see how it suits Mercedes' car.
They've done better in 2023 though. I think they realised in 2022 where to go. They knew at the beginning. They knew like the first 2 races in that Lance Stroll's daddy was on it. He knew they made a mistake. He said he's going to go that Red Bull route, and he did in 2023. He started off good, dropped off a little bit, but now it seems they got the pace back. He's what it is anyway. So thanks for joining us today, Toto Hammer. I know you're busy.
Yeah.
But tomorrow we're doing what we're doing tomorrow. We're doing the
debrief.
Yeah, but tomorrow we're doing the tomorrow we're doing the debrief. But the big one we're doing is
So what Tom doing the debrief?
We're doing we're doing the debrief tomorrow then if you want. Yeah, we'll do the debrief. And Wednesday we're gonna do the Premier League roundup here, and Thursday we're gonna do Liverpool's player lineup, innit?
Yeah.
So okay then. So Tuesday debrief and Wednesday back on the football, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay then. Big up Toto. Say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, big up everyone.
The wobbling laptop, you got a wobbling laptop. It's funny. What table are you using? Using a steady table, are you?
Yeah, it's steady table. I'm just
you sound
messing
good,
with my foot.
I can't hear nothing, when you're rattling. I can't hear nothing, You know why I can't hear nothing? Have you got your microphone on a pole or something?
Yeah, it's on a pole. It's on the mic stand.
You know your microphone, is it where, you know how you got your laptop, wherever you are, yeah? You know you got your laptop. Is your
plugged directly into my laptop.
Is your microphone, it's not connected to that table, no?
No, it's connected to my laptop on the table.
Yeah, but the microphone is not on the same table as your laptop, no?
No, it's on a pole.
That's why I can't hear them. Well, when your camera moves on your laptop. See, I can't hear that. When you're just rattling your laptop, you can't hear it on your microphone. Silent. Anyway.
Because I was using laptop speakers before, but it's not really that quality.
Yeah, okay. Big up anyway. Big up, man. Big up respect to Toto Hammer, man. Go subscribe. We'll be back then. See you later, man. Big up. Good video, man. Good video. See you later, guys. Bye. See the intro. Where's the intro? There you go.
On the brakes, Leclerc has that inside line. Perez goes off the track, comes into gate. Off goes Leclerc.
It's all right.